Welcome to A-Level Mathematics and Further Mathematics at Burnley College. Firstly, I would like to introduce you to the maths team in A-Levels. In your AS class, you will be taught by one or two maths teachers. However, when you access our support and help sessions, it is likely you will come across the whole team. It doesn't matter which class you are in, you can ask any of us for help. The Maths A-Level is made up of two sections. Pure Mathematics, which concentrates on algebra, trigonometry and calculus, and will take up 2/3 of the course. Applied Mathematics is where we apply the pure topics we have learnt. We study two branches of applied: Mechanics, where we look at the equations which describe motion, and Statistics, where we study data analysis and probability. Mechanics and Statistics count for 1/6 of the course each. Like any A-level, this course is challenging, and therefore you must be prepared to work hard and develop your problem-solving skills. A quote we have in the maths classroom is, "Mathematicians are not people who find maths easy, but who enjoy how hard it is." All the skills mentioned on the slide should be familiar to you from GCSE. You can think of GCSE to be a toolbox of skills which you are now going to apply in a number of applications. Whereas a GCSE question requires a couple of skills to be used, an A-level question can draw upon 5 or 6 at any one time. Further mathematicians study the full Maths A-level in the first year, and then they may progress onto Further Mathematics A-level in their second year. This will count for 2 subjects on your timetable, and you will gain 2 A-level qualifications over the 2 years. We do initially ask all students to pick 2 other subjects alongside this to give some flexibility at the end of the first year. This is a fast-paced course which is designed for students who love mathematics and have the desire to study it in more depth. We require a grade 8 or 9 from GCSE. If you are unsure if this is the right course, please speak to one of the maths team when you enrol, and we will talk you through it in more detail. Just like the full A-level, we study pure mechanics and statistics, but in more depth. A few of the topics covered are taken from A-level, but most of them present new concepts. In complex numbers, we learn that there is an answer to what is the square root of -1, which allows us to add a new dimension to the number line. In polar coordinates, we study a new coordinate system which presents us with a range of beautiful graphs which are challenging to work with using the standard coordinate system, but become manageable using polar coordinates. There really are some interesting topics covered in this A-level, but you have to love maths and love problem solving in order to get the most from this subject. In both A-levels, all the work we do is calculator based, and the Casio ClassWiz is the calculator we recommend. You don't need to worry about buying a new calculator before you start. We can usually offer them at a reduced price. Whether you are choosing to study 1 or 2 A-levels in mathematics, there are a few ideas which are common to both. Both A-levels are built on the idea of problem solving, so you must develop a resilience to keep going and find a solution. We will work with you on this through our skills session, but you can make a start, if you haven't already, by accessing some of the questions from the UK MT Maths Challenges. The key to success is to identify the problem. What is the question asking you to do? Make sure you understand all the key words before you start. Then you need to identify key information. Which part of the question is useful and what is unknown? If it is a length or an angle, for example, can you label it with a variable to allow the use of algebra? Can you find the starting point? And if you can't, then our advice would be to list everything you know about the topic to help. Finally, you need to construct a solution. This should be logical and strategic, and the method should flow down the page. You should expect to get stuck on some questions. You should expect to have to start some questions more than once. It is having the confidence to keep going that allows students to be successful when trying to problem solve. Another key part to both A-levels is the idea of mathematical modelling. It is what maths is used for in the real world. An observation is made and assumptions are considered to simplify the problem. Through experimental data, the model is tested, and then it can be used to make predictions about a similar situation in the future. We only need to look at the current situation of coronavirus to see mathematical modelling being used. The scientific advisors set up a model using previous situations to predict what may happen, and this allows the government, the hospitals, etc. a chance to prepare. As we are moving through the pandemic, new data is being added and the model is being revised so we can respond in the best way. Although we don't work at this level, a lot of A-level questions are based on the idea of a model, and so you will become familiar with this idea of applying mathematics. With our support, we want you to become independent learners. The ability to think for yourself, see what improvements need to be made, and take steps to make those improvements are valuable skills which will prepare you for your next step, whether that is further study or the workplace. As already mentioned, A-levels are challenging, and even the best mathematicians will come across topics they find difficult. It is the nature of the subject. We expect you to practice topics in your own time and then seek help with concepts you do not understand. We encourage the little and often approach to enable key skills to be committed to long-term memory. We will support you by giving you repeated questions through lesson starters, assessments and feedback to allow you to see which topics you have grasped and which you still need to work on. You can make a start on this now. In order to succeed in either A-level, you must be accomplished in these key skills before the start of the course. You will find a range of exercises in the accompanying application information sheet, and we advise you work through them over the summer, adopting the little and often approach. If you can do these questions straight away, then great. You should be able to apply them to their harder context in September. If you are finding them challenging, now is a good time to improve them. Use revision websites, textbooks, or just keep repeating the questions from the sheets. However, you should be questioning why methods work. Why is anything to the power of 0 1? How does that link to the subtraction law in indices? Why do we subtract indices when we divide? Why are roots fractional powers? You get the idea. Only when you can do questions and explain why you would do it that way have you fully understood the topic. Here is a bit of advice from some of our current students and a quote from one of the world's most famous problem solvers. In the meantime, find some questions. If you can do it, find something harder and enjoy doing some maths. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to email alevels@burnley.ac.uk and one of the team will respond as soon as possible. We wish you all the best for the summer and we look forward to welcoming you to the Burnley College Maths Department in September.